Hi, 7th grade. Miss Dohian here to talk to you today about conflict. We're focusing on literary elements, and we're continuing that discussion by focusing on conflict. You'll notice again that there are notes in the right-hand corner, numbers in the right-hand corner. That's just to help you identify which slide you're on and which slides to take notes on and which slide to do practice on. So you're going to be taking notes on two slides, slides 2 and 3, and then you're going to do some practice on slides 4 and 5. All of this information will go in section 2 of your ELA notebook. So pause right now and make sure you're at section 2 of your ELA notebook. You're going to put these notes directly after your notes on setting. Okay. Now that you have all of your information, you'll notice that I've set up my guided notes like Cornell notes. I want you to follow that exact same format. So the keywords will be on the left, the definitions and examples will be on the right side. So again, we're focusing on the literary element of conflict. And conflict is a struggle or a problem between opposing forces. There are two main categories or two main types of conflict. So categories also means types. There's internal conflict and there's external conflict. If we look at those prefixes, we see the word in and we see X. X, like exit, means outside of. In means, well, inside. So let's talk a little bit more about this internal conflict really quick. Internal conflict is when a character struggles with his or her own needs, desires, or emotions. This is also called character versus self because the problem takes place within the character's mind or their heart. It's not something that we can actually see outside. It's not with someone else. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to, once you've got these notes, I want you to create a visual or a symbol that helps you represent or kind of show what internal conflict is. Do that right now in your notes and then pause this video until you're ready to move on. Okay, so we said and we mentioned there are two main types of or categories of conflict, internal and external. Now we're going to focus on external conflict. And external conflict is when a character struggles against an outside force, so someone or something that's outside of themselves. And there are three main types of external conflict. So make sure you've got both the definition of external conflict and that there are three main types. And now we're going to go into those three main types. Make sure that you put the key term on the left side, and then again, the definitions and examples on the right. So first we have character versus character. And what this definition means is that a character is struggling against the goals or the desires of another person or character. So it's one versus one. However, this struggle can be against one character or it can be against a group. So it can be one person versus like 3 people or one person against 2 people. Like if you and your parents are getting in a fight, that's character versus characters. Your goal is against your parents' goal. Again, same thing. Once you've got this information down, pause and generate a symbol or a visual that helps you represent character versus character conflict. Okay. We're going to move on to character versus nature, the second type of external conflict. Character versus nature is when the struggle is specifically against a force of nature. So in other words, a storm or a wild animal. So it's when a character or a person or whomever the character is struggling against something that's a natural force. Again, to help you process this information, I want you to create a symbol or a visual that helps you represent this type of conflict. And the last type of conflict that we have is character versus society. And character versus society is a very interesting and compelling conflict, my personal favorite. It's when the character struggles against the laws or rules of the society in which he or she lives. So that means this character doesn't just have a problem with one or two people. This character has a problem with the way that the whole society or government runs. So what I want you to do again is to create a symbol or a visual that helps represent character versus nature. Pause this video until you've got those figured out. All right. Now that you have all the notes and have visualized and processed each of these different types of conflict, the 3 external and the 1 internal, you're going to do a little bit of practice. So what this is going to look like is in section 2 of your ELA notebook, you're going to examine each picture, identify the conflict represented, and explain. Each conflict will be used only one time. So I've included a caption for each picture. In your ELA notebook, make sure you write the letter, the type of conflict, and explain why. So again, for A, examine A, pause this video and think, what type of conflict is this? Make sure that you write both the type of conflict, typer, plus how I know. Do that for each one of these pictures. So A, we see Venus and Serena Williams. B, we see man climbing Mount Everest. Pause the video right now. Identify the type of conflict and how you know for both of these pictures. When you're ready, unpause it. We're going to move on to the last 2 slides. Picture C is a man about to give a speech. I want you to think, what type of conflict is this and how do I know? And the last type of conflict represented is Elizabeth Blackwell, who is this person right here, the African-American young girl, on her first day of integrating Arkansas schools. And Arkansas schools were predominantly white. So I want you to think again for D, what is the type of conflict and how do you know? Record these answers because we will go over them tomorrow during class. Have a great day.